Okay, so riding it straight out of the box. Didn't charge it, nothing. Battery's sitting at 3 bars, about half. So this is an open box Qiewa Hummer. These scooters go for $1,400, brand new, but the open box models go for $999, and they do run discounts, so I actually got this for $950. It is the updated model, so it has the white lights on the side instead of the red, green, blue that alternates like I've seen online. So far it rides amazing. It's extremely comfortable. So plushy. The 10-inch tires, they ride so much better than 8-inch. It's crazy. This thing is probably about 6 to 8 inches longer than the Joyor, and you feel it. It rides a little smoother, a little straighter, it feels like. So overall, I'm just really impressed with this thing. It's so beefy looking. That rear fender, that suspension is so nice. Yeah, pretty impressed. The torque is easily double what the Joyor F7 does. I'm gonna go test it out and see if I can get it to slow down on a few hills, see how good the hill performance is. So I didn't exactly get a chance to do an unboxing video on this. The alarm was going off upon delivery, so as you pick up the box, the scooter thinks it's being stolen and the alarm starts freaking out. So it was kind of a rush to get the box open. So overall it was actually packaged okay. There was nothing really exposed. Everything was pretty well covered. I'd say the Joyor was packed about the same. This is an open box model, so I mean it did come with a couple of scuffs, nothing too crazy. Little paint missing right there, like it was laid down on the side. Okay. A little bit of paint missing on the top of the fender there. Okay. And when I had it, there was a little bit of dirt on the pad, and I've added a little bit more. So as far as defects go on an open box, I'm not really worried about that stuff. The stem had a little bit of wear like that, so that's all kind of to be expected on an open box. And for $9.99, that's really not a bad deal. It's a completely different ride. The 8-inch wheel, or 8.5-inch, 10 with the 2.5-inch wide. It's really pretty good. It feels really stable. My wife rode on it with me at full speed. She said it feels a lot more stable than the other one, even while riding it alone. So I did have an issue with the brake making contact. This bolt right here, that Allen, the black one right there, you back that one out a little bit and you can kind of adjust where the brake's sitting. So I believe I got it fixed so that the brake's not making contact anymore. There's a little bit of play in the stem. Nothing more than this one, I'd say. So maybe I'll just get used to it. But it feels like slightly more play than this one does. The Joyor feels a little tighter. And I've got quite a bit more miles on it, about 100 miles on the Joyor. This came with 10 miles on the instrument cluster or whatever. Online it guaranteed less than 30, so I'd say 10 miles is really not bad. It just seems really beefy. It's pretty thick. It's honestly about the same. They're both running a pretty wide and thick frame. This one just seems really strong. I jumped up and down on it as hard as I could, and I weigh 200 pounds. and there wasn't a whole lot of play. I think the shocks could be a little softer, if anything. It looks like somebody cranked down those bolts really tightly. It bowed the fender in a little bit right there. But I went through and yeah, I checked almost every bolt I could see with an Allen before I rode it for the first time, just to make sure. And I didn't find anything really loose. There was a couple that I could give a half turn to, but there's looks like some like rubbery spackle on there. I don't know what that is. But metal fender up front. Better than the plastic guy here. This headlight is really good. I've got the bar mounted one on the Joyor because this one just does not cut it. It barely provides any light, so you really need the handlebar light for the Joyor. That one works really well though. So far I'm really enjoying the size difference though. I think the 10-inch is a much better ride. I was able to go over grass way easier. It hardly slowed down at all. So it does have a bit more torque than the Joyor. I said probably, I mean it feels like 800. The Joyor is 500. This proportionately feels like 800. It's not overwhelmingly more powerful than the Joyor, but it does get up to a nice high cruising speed and a little bit quicker. So there's that. The lights I'm actually really impressed with. I'll flip them on real quick with how they look anyway. Nice solid white. Keep you visible from the sides. Nothing crazy, but I like it a lot better than the red, green, blue that they have advertised. That's a lot more my style there with just the plain white. And then those two headlights are really pretty good. They don't look so great right here, but outside they're actually lighting up in front of me really well. They're pretty good, and I might not actually need to buy a bar mounted light for this one at all. Time will tell. Also want to touch on the fact that this scooter is definitely made for a taller individual. Obviously it can go down to as low as that, just like the Joyor can, but the Joyor's top bar height is right there. Otherwise you're pulling these too tight. So far I still can go another notch on these guys, and they're a bit higher than the Joyor already, and so that's not even the highest position. It'd be good for somebody 6 foot plus. This one did come with a better manual than the F7 did. Pretty excited about this one. It does give you good instructions on recharge, remote controller stuff, and best of all, detailed instructions on how to set up the LCD. There is a disclaimer on not changing any of these settings, but nobody reads that. This will kind of put the frame size into perspective a little better. The Joyor is pretty straightforward, all straight. The Qiewa has the little angles there, and it's a decent bit wider. You can easily stand with your feet side by side. On the Joyor you can as well, but your feet do hang off the side a little bit. It just looks so much beefier. You got the disc brake in the back. Once adjusted properly, should be really good. That suspension looks great. Metal rear fender. Big tire, good tread. I do honestly like the gold or the bronze wheel there. Decent accent. The Joyor has the drum brake in the rear. Taillight right here for the Joyor. The taillights for this guy, they are kind of hidden. Let's see here. So they're kind of hidden beneath the frame there, but they illuminate the back quite nicely, and they're not exposed to damage. I like that quite a bit. The top speed I haven't really touched on yet because I've only ridden it out of the box so far without charging it fully, which is why it is charging currently. I brought my phone out with the GPS, and so far I have hit 28 miles per hour on flat ground. I did like 31-ish downhill, but it claims 35 miles per hour. So I was hoping to see a little bit above 30. I do weigh 200 pounds again, so I'm not expecting it to be what they claim, but I would have liked to see a little bit closer to 30 on flat ground. That being said, it is charging again, so I will do another video on top speed and range and give it a fair shot, but as of now I think the top speed is going to be about 28 miles an hour for me, which honestly still feels quite a bit faster than the Joyor and is kind of scary. It feels solid, it really does, but I don't really want to go that much faster, honestly. I read a couple of reviews saying that this charger brick got extremely hot during charging, and I've been checking it periodically, and it's been charging for 4 hours now. So I'd say if it was going to get too hot, it would have done it by now. I'm not too worried about that, but I will do another follow-up review here shortly.